I woke to her voice, slicing through the darkness, like glass. Give me space. The words hit me before I was fully awake. It was 4 a.m. The bedroom was dim, only the faint glow of a street lamp seeping through the curtains, and there she was, sitting at the edge of the bed, trembling, her breath jagged and uneven. For a second, I thought she'd been dreaming. But then she turned. Her eyes were alight with something I couldn't place, something that wasn't fear. Something that felt like contempt. "Emily, what's happening?" I whispered, still half in sleep, trying to process why her voice had risen to a near scream.
"Just stop," she snapped.
"Stop hovering.
"Stop asking.
Stop smothering. I need space." Her words were too precise, too controlled, as if they had been repeated 1,000 times in her mind. A quiet instinct told me this didn't come from nowhere. What did I do? I asked, my throat tight. "You exist," she said, then quickly clamped a hand over her mouth, as though she had let the truth escape. She stood suddenly, yanked a hoodie off the chair, and left. I heard the front door click shut, then silence. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, her words echoing through the room, lingering until morning light stretched across the floor. When she returned 2 hours later, her face was blank, her eyes swollen. She moved through the day as if nothing had happened, showered, dressed, left for work. But something in me had shifted. Something had cracked. And cracks rarely remain mere cracks. They widen. They become doors. They become answers. That night, when she finally fell asleep, I sat alone in the living room, piecing together the signs I had ignored. The late nights at work, the secrecy with her phone, the way she no longer reached for me in bed. I tried to excuse it as stress, exhaustion, anything but betrayal. But I couldn't lie to myself anymore. Around midnight, I picked up her tablet from the couch. It wasn't even locked. Emily had always insisted she had nothing to hide, but anyone who says that is always hiding something. And there it was. Her messages. Not many. Deleted often. But she had slipped up. The first one hit like a punch. "Tonight is risky but worth it. I need you." Sent to a contact labeled John. Work. The same job she claimed to hate staying late at, the same coworker she said she barely spoke to. I scrolled further. "He's asleep. I'll call when I can. I don't know how long I can pretend everything's normal." And the worst, I told him I needed space. That should keep him off my back for now.
Space.
At 4 a.m., my hands were numb. I hadn't noticed the tears falling until one dropped on the screen, smearing her words. I didn't confront her that night, or the next, or the one after. I needed to know how deep it went, how long it had been happening, whether it was emotional, physical, or both. I watched. You notice a lot when you stop asking questions and start listening to silence. I noticed the way she smiled at her phone, how guarded she became, how she flinched when it buzzed. I saw her suddenly having girls' nights despite few friends. I noticed the faint scent of cologne she never wore. And I pretended. I laughed at her jokes. I kissed her cheek. Cooked her favorite meals. I let her believe she was fooling me, because I needed to see if she would ever stop lying. She didn't. One night, when she said she was staying late again, I followed her. I promised myself I wouldn't become the paranoid, suspicious man I never wanted to be. But betrayal changes gravity. It pulls you toward truths you would rather avoid. I followed her at a distance. She didn't go to the office. 40 minutes later, she pulled into a quiet West Side neighborhood, parked in front of a townhouse, and hurried up the steps. The door opened instantly. He let her in. She didn't hesitate, didn't glance around, didn't check her phone. She just vanished inside, the porch light clicking off. I gripped the steering wheel until my fingers ached. I expected rage, heartbreak, humiliation. Instead, I felt relief. Not because I wanted this.
God, no.
But because the truth was finally tangible.
Clean. Sharp.
No more guessing. No more doubt. Nothing to fix. Nothing to save. The next morning, she slipped back into bed just before sunrise. Her hair damp. Her clothes carrying a hint of someone else's detergent. She curled against me like she always had, as if nothing had happened. I didn't move.
I didn't speak.
I stared at the wall, wondering when love becomes unrecognizable. Later, she texted, "I'm really sorry about the other night. I didn't mean to yell. I need to breathe." Funny how people suffocate you while claiming you've taken their air. For the next week, I planned, not revenge, not anger, a quiet exit, a way to give her all the space she claimed to need. I packed a duffel with essentials and stashed it in my trunk. Gathered financial papers, copies of the house deed, passwords, bank statements. Opened a separate account. Checked the calendar. When the moment came, I acted. It was a Sunday morning. She hummed in the kitchen, making coffee, texting, smiling, oblivious. I stepped in, sat across from her. "Emily, I know." She froze. Color drained from her face. "Dubbish what?" she whispered. "That you've been cheating on me." Silence.
Thick. Heavy.
Absolute. Her hands trembled in her lap. For once, no rehearsal. No deflection. Only fear. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she murmured. "I felt trapped, lost. And you were always what?" I asked. "Always there. Always trying to help. Always asking if I was okay." I laughed, quietly, bitterly. "I showed you love. That's not a prison, Emily." Tears filled her eyes. I know.
I'm sorry."
I'll end it. I'll fix this. We can go to counseling. Please don't leave." I was confused. I didn't want to lose you. But she already had. I stood, retrieved the envelope I'd prepared days earlier. "What's this?" she whispered. "My promise," I said. "You want space? I'm giving you all the space you could ever want." She opened the envelope with shaking hands. My note, my new address, a lawyer-drafted separation agreement, house keys. No, please," she cried. "We can fix this. I'll do anything." I placed her wedding ring on the table beside her. "You already did everything," I said. She sobbed into her hands. "I didn't think you'd leave. I didn't think you'd cheat." "I didn't," I replied. I grabbed my coat, walked to the door, paused. She looked up, red-eyed, broken. "Please don't go," she whispered. "You told me to give you space," I said quietly. "I'm giving you a whole life without me." I turned the handle and left. No shouting. No slamming doors. Just the soft click marking the end of everything that once meant everything. I drove, not looking back. Cool morning air brushed my face, as if trying to comfort me. My chest felt hollow, yet lighter. Pain and peace wrestled inside me. For the first time in months, I could finally breathe.